Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Your sign says, "Shame on you, Justin Trudeau." Where do we begin?
Well, how come we're shaming all the rest of the Canadians, but there's no shame, only forgiveness for ministers that break their own fake bylaws, right? So, right.
I wonder where Justin Trudeau is right now. Do you think he's at home in Ottawa, or?
He's probably relaxing at the cottage, maybe getting some interior design done in there, while the rest of us suffer, right? They're getting raises, aren't they?
Yes.
I could use a raise too.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Toronto's Pearson International Airport. Well, we're doing a little detective work. We're trying to find out where sneaky Rod Phillips is. That's the finance minister. Now, if you recall, folks, he jetted off to the Caribbean. Doug Ford yesterday blew a gasket. He ordered the finance minister back home, as in immediately. Wonder what the definition of immediately is. I think he's still working on his tan lines in St. Bart's. But in any event, we haven't seen him yet at the airport. We've come across a small group of protesters. They're upset about the finance minister's double standard, and they're also campaigning to stop all flights, especially flights coming in from the original hotspot of the Wuhan virus, that would be China. In fact, did you happen to see what Mayor John Tory tweeted out? Here's his statement about Rod Phillips.
Minister Phillips made a mistake, a serious mistake. He's been chastised by the Premier for that. He has admitted his own deep regret at making that mistake. I have acknowledged that it was a mistake. It's a very regrettable series of events. But I think people who know me also know that, I especially stand by my friends when they make mistakes and when they're in trouble, because I just think that you have to do that. It's not about the actions. It's about the person. He's a human being, and he made a mistake, and he'll pay a price for that. But I think now it's in the Premier's hands, and he'll deal with it. He and Mr. Phillips will deal with it as they see fit.
Yeah. So how do you like that, folks? It's not about the actions; it's about the person. Can you believe that? So because Rod Phillips is a nice guy and a personal friend of John Tory, it's okay for him to break the rules. But you know what? I think Adam Skelly, the owner of Adamson Barbecue, is a nice guy, but he's not part of the inner circle. And check out how Adam Skelly was treated back in November.
Where's he going? Move back. Shame on these police. Look at what they've started now. I love you guys. Move back. Small business. Small business. Small business. Get back. Shame on
Yeah, so thanks, Mayor Tory. I guess you're the living embodiment of the old Amex tagline, membership has its privileges. Adam Skelly, he's just some schlub trying to make a living running a restaurant. He doesn't matter to you, but Rod Phillips, multimillionaire, part of the Rosedale Country Club set, it's a different standard for him. In any event, we're going to continue looking for Mr. Phillips, and I'm going to ask some of these people what is bringing them out here today.
So listen, you can walk out here, protest all you want. We're going to ask, I'm asking you, please. We have a healthy airport transformation going on. We're trying to keep people with masks, passengers and employees. We have a policy here.
That have tested positive for coronavirus.
We have a policy here that only people allowed in the airport terminals right now.
So, Leigh, what did you make of that?
I just think that they're hypocritical because flights keep coming in here since December 13th. 28 flights have arrived coronavirus positive. They haven't been testing anyone. Justin Trudeau is completely silent. And it's kind of hypocritical for Doug Ford to lock down Ontario when there are flights coming in from China, from India, from the UK up until a few days ago, even though that there is a travel ban. You can look it up. You can look it up right on the arrivals. There are flights coming in internationally, and why haven't, if this is such a serious pandemic, why haven't they locked down the airport since the very beginning?
Ole, we've been coming here since January, and we've been reporting on that. And It's quite remarkable, actually. And I'm sorry, I see outside the window the police and Patrick Brown's Paragon Security. Sir, we're looking for Finance Minister Rod Phillips. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't.
I've heard rumors, though.
Okay, he was told to come home immediately. We don't know what the... What's that, sir?
Flights from China today. So we're just wondering why small businesses is closed, but yet we're still letting people from different countries in, especially ones that are at high risk right now. It's a simple question.
You know what, sir? We've been at this airport since January reporting on this, and 12 months later, literally, nothing's changed. We have this illusion that there's a lockdown going on, but there doesn't seem to really be one, isn't
No,
it?
it's just for Canadians in lockdown. Everybody else is exempt.
Well, not all Canadians. Rod Phillips is on some sandy beach right now, we understand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's kind of a hypocrisy. You got to kind of say it, right? It's like, it can't get much more obvious than, the financial minister traveling during while everybody else is suffering. So,
Is it one rule for thee and one rule for me then?
sure seems like that. One rule for thee and another rule for the MP.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Sir, I couldn't help but notice your sign, rules for thee, but not for MPs, or I guess MPPs, as Rod Phillips might be, and that equals tyranny. What do you make of this? It's almost as though when you see elected officials breaking all these pandemic rules, to me it means that they're not taking this seriously, so why should we?
Yeah, it's totally hypocritical, and just like it says, my other sign says, it's looking like tyranny, man, and it is not something that I grew up in, and it's not something I want to see in my country, and it's disgusting, to watch him make a video trying to act like he's a good guy, then when he has the plane ticket sitting there, right, he knew what he was doing, and he knew he could get away with it, just like John Tory released a statement saying, he's my friend, don't be so hard on him, but they're trying to publicly shame people for breaking COVID restrictions. They want to fine us, ticket us, break our rights.
Wasn't that a statement by John Tory absolutely astonishing? He was basically saying he's a really good guy, so let's basically judge his character, not his actions. That was staggering to me.
Yeah, holy, I'm just baffled by the hypocrisy. It's outrageous, man. And these people, they don't care because they're still being paid. They don't have to shut down their businesses, right? And then we get all this flack. We get spread with lies called anti-maskers. Hey, I could wear a mask, no big deal, right? But if we're not going to shut down the airports, we have 2 flights coming in from China today. This needs to stop. We need to start getting serious, and the people need to start speaking up, and let's solve the problem here.
And 'twas ever thus, the flights from international locations, including China, 5 to 10 a day. We've been here since January. I see yours says save lives, stop all flights. But wait a minute, how is Rod Phillips going to get back home?
That's right. They're picking and choosing. This isn't fair. This isn't right.
What did you make of the minister? I mean, you'd think that someone like Rod Phillips, you'd lead by example, and yet he tells us to stay here in the cold, not to gather at Christmas time, and then he goes off to the Caribbean, and even worse, it looks like he pre-recorded videos to make it look like he was still here in this miserable weather like the rest of us. What do you make of that?
Well, they've been doing it all along in the summertime. People were choosing, Ford was choosing to go to weddings. People were attending weddings, no masks, right? So they've been picking and choosing what they'd like to do themselves all along, and it's, I guess, just up to us to follow the rules. That's exactly what they've been making it look like.
Your sign says, shame on you, Justin Trudeau. Where do we begin?
How come we're shaming all the rest of the Canadians, but there's no shame, only forgiveness for ministers that break their own fake bylaws, right? So,
right.
Right.
I wonder where Justin Trudeau is right now. Do you think he's at home in Ottawa, or?
He's probably relaxing at the cottage, maybe getting some interior design done in there, while the rest of us suffer, right? They're getting raises, aren't they?
Yes.
I could use a raise too.
No one's going anywhere except those that are calling all the shots, shutting everything down and closing up the airports, and yeah, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, and what do you make when our elected officials tell us to, on the way to the airport today, I was listening to the radio, there was a Government of Ontario ad saying, don't travel. There were road signs saying the same thing, stop COVID, stay at home. And yet you have the finance minister saying, bugger this, I'm off to the Caribbean. It's almost as though they don't take this pandemic seriously, so why should we?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're not taking anything seriously, but they're forcing and making sure everyone else is taking it seriously while they go off, like you said, to St. Kitts or Barts or wherever it may be. And we can't even go in the airport, and they're asking us, what's your business here? Are you traveling? Only travelers only. So they're really they want everyone to stay home. And
so it's one law for thee, one law for me, I guess.
Always, yeah, especially with the government, and they're showing their hand this year. And we got like 1 day left of 2020, and 2021's coming, and yeah, who knows? We gotta step it up with and just stop this. Otherwise, it's going to be more of the same and worse.
It's a shame on you, Justin Trudeau. Golly, where do we begin?
Right? It's crazy. I don't know where to begin. That's for sure. I just know that this is crazy. For me, like the biggest part of all this is they keep like. They say when we say, okay, with the old people, it's 85%. It's been with the people that in long-term care, right? And when we talk with them, they say, oh, you guys don't care about the old people. It's not that. I'm care about the old people, but it's obvious that if these old people are in isolation already, they're not allowed to see their family, they're wearing masks, they're doing this, but they're still getting sick. You can't fix the problem with them in lockdown. Why do you think you could fix it out here with lockdown?
And also, sir, speaking of political leaders, of course, topping the news again today is Rod Phillips. He jetted off to the Caribbean when the province has been telling us to stay at home, limit Christmas time gatherings. It doesn't look like the political elite are taking this seriously, so why should we?
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. There's no point in taking this seriously. But for me, it just always goes back to, if you're doing the same thing almost a year now, it's not working. It's proven over and over again, especially with the old age homes. You got them in complete isolation. Nobody's allowed to come see them. There's glass, there's masks. It's not working. So what gives them any information that it'll work out here? There's no possible way it can work out here.
Yeah, and yet the government seemed to be doubling down there as the case records keep coming, and these are positive case records, not death records, of course, but which to me is the only stat that really matters. And like you said, more than 80% of the casualties are at long-term care facilities. But it seems that they're further and further and further locking down the economy, causing all kinds of misery. And yet we've seen for weeks now that isn't working. So why are they still doing it?
Weeks, months, almost a year we're coming up on, right? So yeah, I don't know. I wish I had the answers. The only thing I could think of is that he's trying to destroy our country. One way, absolutely destroy us. Or, as he says on the news, Justin Trudeau says that we're right in line with the UN's Agenda 2030. Well, all these years they've been calling it a conspiracy. Now all of a sudden he's saying we're right in line with it. Like, come on.
Well, we do know 6 years ago, Justin Trudeau said China is the basic kind of dictatorship that he admires. This is before he became Prime Minister. Can you believe a leader of a Western nation would ever say such a thing?
Not at all. It dumbfasts me every time I hear it. Even you just bringing it, give me chills. It drives me crazy.
Well, good luck with your protest, and if you see Rod Phillips, can you send me a call or a text? He's very sneaky.
Yes, we will most definitely be out there looking for you.
Okay, then. Thank you. Well, you know what, folks? I've been here at Toronto Pearson International Airport for a few hours. I haven't seen hide nor hair of Finance Minister Rod Phillips. In fact, nobody knows where he's gone to. Check out today's front page of the Toronto Sun. I think it's their best front page of 2020. Where's Roddo? Oh, there's the little sneaky rat right there in the corner. Indeed, the deck says, turns out he was sunning himself in St. Bart's as Ford rips Minister of Finance for holiday despite province urging against travel during pandemic. Well, I don't know when Mr. Phillips is going to come back to the great white frozen north, but when he does, he'll have to pay a penalty, namely, he'll have to quarantine in the mean streets of Rosedale. Poor guy. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey entrepreneurs, are you sick and tired of government and bureaucracies telling you you cannot open your business? Well, if you are going to open nevertheless, please let us know. Go to iwillopen.com. That's iwillopen.com. Let us hear about your situation, and I'll make sure to tell your story. Thank you all for watching. I hope I see a lot of you on the 6th. I hope that there are enough of us willing to stand up and say no that it matters. I hope all of this is not in vain. And I know that a lot of you are adamant that you're going to be there, and I hope that you are all good, honest actors, and that we stand up and do something useful, and that all of this goes away. I just don't believe that that's coming. But I hope that you care enough to actually get up and go over there, because whatever is coming next is not going to be good. It's going to be painful and terrible. Thank you all for watching. And remember, fight the progressives wherever you find them, and fight them like your life depends on it. Because it does.